Hello and welcome to another short, but I hope helpful and effective practice. You can choose to be seated, or also you could choose to stand up on your feet. Um, Actually, there are a number of ways you could really do this. You could be even on all fours if you wanted to. Um, but wherever you are, be comfortable. And I think I think it's nice actually to sit close to the ground, but you don't have to. You can be wherever you are. And I would like to take first just a little bit waking up around the whole head and the neck and the kind of shoulder, clavicle, thoracic spine, chest area to start. So, however you may be, if you could just take a moment and see if you can soften up a little bit more the skin. Soften up even a little bit more behind your ears. Locate that spot. And as you root down into however you happen to be, whether seated or on your feet, standing up, um, go ahead and maybe soften a little bit more, but then take a little bit of a kind of gentle push and see if you can rise up a little higher without getting hard or rigid. And then from there, we're just going to take one of our arms and we're going to place it right above the crown of our head. And go ahead, rather than thinking of that weight of your arm resting on top of your head, think more of moving your head into the arm and see how you raise up just a bit more. Maybe take the other hand on the ribs and just kind of remind yourself to move into the back body. And then we're going to take that top hand and we're just going to take a little bit with the fingers, kind of moving them around a bit. Maybe looking the hand up, out, and down without going to your full range, just easy. And then go ahead and kind of hug the side of your face with that hand. And think of the hand gently drawing the head over to the direction where your elbow is, and still feel the other hand on the chest. Feel those both hands. And with the top hand, maybe open it a little bit more and just kind of cradle the side of your face. And slowly start to move your head with your hand in various directions, kind of by guiding it and cradling it, maybe repositioning the hand to get a little bit of a different kind of range with the head and your neck. And just finding lots of different variations, lots of different explorations. And see if you can do it though without actually moving the head. I mean, you're moving the head, but the hand is actually guiding the process. So you have to start to wait a little bit. Now don't collapse. And then we'll just take that back to where we started. Take a little bit more rooting down, a little bit more lifting up, a little bit more with that front hand to the front of your body, moving in more. And then just take that release and bring the head up. And same thing on the other side. You're just going to move your head into the arm. The other hand moves onto the front of your body, bringing you into the back part of your body. And then that top hand is just going to kind of cradle and caress the side of your face. Feels nice up to temples just a bit. And kind of navigating you over in the direction of the elbow. And nice and easy. And the hand guides the head. You can also think too, which we're going to explore a little bit later, is eyeballs. Eyeballs, yes, on the outside of the body, but let's even go a step further in bringing those eyeballs on the inside of the body, looking out. So how would that be? And do you notice any difference if the eyeballs were in the outside of the skin looking about your space? And what does that change when you actually think more about bringing the eyeballs inside, behind the skin, looking out? It's subtle, but definitely a different quality aesthetically and sensationally. And then we're just going to go ahead and let that release. Go ahead and center the head and take a few moments here. And one of your hands, just bring one of your hands up, and again the image of the eyeball. On the outside of the hand, first kind of scanning the room, your space, in a multitude of choreographies and directions. So it's more like you're just trying to see the space with the eyeballs, which might be on your finger pads, the back of your hand, the inside of your hand, the sides of your hand, and then inside the hand looking out. And there's just a little bit of a different quality, and I'm moving rather quickly, so I apologize. Now, what if those eyeballs were to move to the wrist, rather? On the outside of the wrist, looking about the space. And then what happens if the eyeballs actually move inside the skin, around the area of your wrist, looking out at your ceiling, at your floor, at your wall, at the corners? And just take a moment of pause and kind of reset by rooting down and reaching a little higher up so you're not collapsed, but you're also not propping, you're not rigid or hard. Now, let's take the elbow. The eyes are all on the elbow, looking about the space, getting curious, seeing all parts, the deep corner way over there, the far corner behind you, ceiling. And then again, if the eyeballs were to move inside the elbow, looking out. It's very subtle, but notice the difference in what that does to the skin, actually. And then that affects maybe the jointed area, feeling maybe a little bit more open, maybe the muscles a little bit more released. And let that go, and now you've got a ton of eyeballs on your shoulder. And the eyeballs are, again, wanting to explore the space that you happen to be in right now. And the arms just following along for the ride. And other parts of you, of course, are going to move naturally because of how the arm is attached to your scapula, to your ribs, to your spine. And take one more moment of pause. Oh, we have to go on the inside. Inside, eyes looking out. Inside, eyeballs looking out. Seeing space. And now let that go. One more thing we're going to explore with this arm that we've been working is an imaginary box. A box, 4 corners. Yeah, you can move across, horizontally, vertically, as well on the diagonal. And then there's a little center spot. So just this is the design, this is the structure of our box. And with the entire arm, eyeballs on the outside, just describe the box however you will. Maybe it's the elbow, shoulder. And when you're seated, you have maybe a little bit less range. The box is a little bit smaller, perhaps. Wrist. Yeah, we did our elbow, shoulder. Now, allow those eyeballs to move on the inside and kind of get a little bit more everything having a turn. And it's almost as if you don't know which one is doing which, because they're all connected. But you've got the idea of this box. That's kind of like your score. Tracing it, corners, maybe even washing it through from the inside out. Take a moment of pause again. And just close your eyes for a moment. Notice the arm, the hand, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder that you just worked. And compare that to the other arm. And just notice if you feel any differences. Without judgment, just notice if there are any differences. And in fact, not just the arm, but the whole side of the arm that you just did. I did my right arm. So my whole right side, do you feel any different on that right side compared to your left side or whatever side you did? Just notice, not just the arm, but the rib cage, the chest, thoracic spine, even your face, that pelvic side, that leg, that foot even. And then let that go. And we'll take one more where actually you can choose to stay if you're seated in your position that you are. If you want to change your legs, that's also fine. You can also choose to stand up onto your feet as well. Yeah, so, or even you could go into a quadruped. You could be up on the knees. However you choose. I'm going to stand up on my feet, so I'm going to readjust and place this up a bit higher. And I'm going to move my attention now down toward the pelvis. And as I'm standing, you could be seated if you like, or you could be in a quadruped, a tabletop. Lots of variations. So again, I'm going to locate the pelvis, yeah? And I'm going to try to move the pelvis with these imaginary eyeballs. From the outside first. And I'm just trying to see my space. I'm not thinking about what I look like. I'm thinking more about what I'm doing as far as the concept, the score is, oh, I'm looking at this corner, that corner, cutting through diagonals, horizontally, not really thinking about what I look like, thinking about what I'm doing here, eyeballs seeing the space, variations, eyeballs on the outside. Now eyeballs on the inside. And just notice if you feel any different. And then let that go. And I'm going to stop here for now. Just to kind of summarize here, that this idea of eyeballs on the outside and eyeballs on the inside, and then isolating parts of the body and then connecting them, is a great way to warm up from the inside out and the outside in. And because of the way we're all connected, other parts start to move as well. And you're not thinking so much about, you're thinking about what you're doing, but not really so concerned about, is it the right shape? Did I get it high enough? Did I get it right? Because there is actually no right. It's more of an exploration of your own facility and curiosity within this idea to kind of guide you and lead you as to, well, what do I do? And so we did our arm. We compared both after doing just one arm. We did the pelvis. You could do your foot. You could do your knee. You could do your head. You could then add them all together. It's just a really fun way to get everything kind of connected, but at the same time being very specific as to the parts that are connected. Rather than being just one big kind of block of body, it becomes a little bit more articulate in that, no, I have a wrist, I have an elbow, I have a shoulder, I have an arm, I have a back body, I have a front body, I have a spine, I have a pelvis, I have a head, I have a foot, I have a knee, I have all of these things I have, and they're all connected into one me, in one you. So I just wanted to share that little practice with you, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.